Amen. This is the last of the Torah portions tonight, to be finished tonight. So we're actually in chapter 33, goes right to the end. But I just want to go back a bit. I want to just concentrate on this final part. We'll do the lessons of Moses. The Torah portion is called Vezot HaBerecha. This is the blessing. These are the blessings. This is what the Torah portion is called. And so the bulk of it is the blessings that Moses gives over the tribes of Israel. But I wanted to spend a bit of time just focusing on this particular day, because going back to last week, chapter 32, that's when we done the Song of Moses, wasn't it, last week? So the final verse of the Song of Moses, just to recap, what a great verse. Chapter 32, verse 43, the final verse of the Song of Moses was, "Rejoice, O Gentiles, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and render vengeance to his adversaries. He will provide atonement." That's why I want to read it. You just come out of Yom Kippur, and he's saying he will provide atonement for his land and his people. That's a powerful verse, isn't it? And this is all about this return. Yeah, because it says in verse 44, we mentioned this last week, "So Moshe came with Yeshua, the son of Nun, and spoke all the words of this song in the hearing of the people." So I was saying last week, you can see there, this isn't really fair to call it the Song of Moses. It's also the Song of Joshua. It's a duet. Moshe and Joshua sang this song to them. And then we went forward to Revelation 15, when we seen that is when the Song of Moses and the Song of the Lamb. It's a duet, and it's this song, and it's an end time song. That's why I wanted to mention that. And then it says in verse 45, Moshe finished speaking all these words to Israel, and he said to them, "Set your hearts on all the words which I testify among you today, which you shall command your children to be careful to observe all the words of these instructions of this Torah, for it's not a futile thing for you, because it is your life. And by this word you shall prolong your days in the land which you cross over Jordan to possess." Then, after Moshe had finished doing this, then Yahovah spoke to Moshe that very same day, saying, "Go up this mountain of Abarim," that means crossing over, "Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, across from Jericho. View the land of Canaan, which I give to the children of Israel as possession, and die on the mountain which you ascend, and be gathered to your people." This is what we say about the likes of Anfold. He's been gathered now to his people. This is what happened, isn't it, to the children of Israel when he died. He was gathered to their people. Yeah, he's gathered to his people. Just as Aaron, your brother, died on Mount Hor, and he was gathered to his people. This is what it's talking about when Yeshua's going to return, and the dead will rise first, and those who are alive and remain will be caught up and be gathered together. It's going to be a great gathering soon. Yeah, gathering, Kehillah. Very similar to Kallah, right? So verse 51, "Because you trespassed against me," this is why Moshe can't go in, "because you trespassed against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because you did not hallow me in the midst of the children of Israel." This is when Yah said, "Speak to the rock." And Moshe got angry and struck the rock. And that's breaking the picture. Yeshua was struck once. Now we speak to him and we declare him. That is the way of salvation. And Moshe spoiled that picture. And he didn't do what God had said, so he was not going to enter the land. Even Moshe. Verse 52, "Yeah, you shall see the land before you, though you shall not go there, into the land which I am giving to the children of Israel. And we cover this in the first portion of Deuteronomy, Devarim, because we see there that Moshe actually come back to the yard and said, oh, let us go over, Lord. Go on, let me just be part of the people that go in. And we see that in the first chapter of Deuteronomy. And Yah said, no, enough, don't speak anymore of this. You're not going in. So this is the last day of Moshe's life. So let's go forward to chapter 34 now. Chapter 34, we'll come back to the lessons. Chapter 34, because I just think we need to spend a bit of time honouring this man Moshe. You know, what he's been through, what he's done. This sort of lay your life down. This man has laid his life down. He even said to me, blot me out of your book, Lord, if you're not going to forgive these. You know, he was a forerunner of the Messiah. Our Messiah, Yeshua, is a prophet exactly like Moses. And Moses was obedient. So chapter 34, then Moshe went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, which is across from Jericho. And Yehovah showed him all the land of Gilead, as far as Dan, which is, you know, this is a long way to see. It's miles away on mountains and all kinds of way. This is a spiritual journey, a spiritual sight he is being given. And there's a beautiful phrase in here now. It says, all the land of Judah, as far as the western sea. The western sea, Hayam Ha'acharon. Hayam, the sea, Ha'acharon, which can also be interpreted, you see the same phrase in Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 18, as the last day. In Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 18, the very same phrase, Hayam Ha'acharon, the western sea, is translated as the last day. So you can see that Yah is showing Moshe right through history to the last day. And the last generation, that's why the Song of Moses climaxes with Yeshua's return to take vengeance. He's showing not so much the geographical, he's showing the spiritual. What's going to happen in this land of the last days? And it's nailed on. It's an absolute certainty that all that is written is going to take place in these last days. It's wonderful. So that's what God shows Moshe. Verse 3, the south and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees as far as Zoar. Then Yehovah said to him, this is the land of which I swore to give Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I have caused you to see with your eyes, but you shall not cross over there. I mean, we know that Moshe pops up there, doesn't he? At the time of Yeshua. He's seen on the mountain transfiguration, isn't he? You know. But at this stage, he's not going in. Verse 5. So Moshe, the servants of Yehovah. That's the song in Revelation 15. We will sing the song of Moses, the servants of God. So Moshe, the servants. This is, did you mention this before, what Yeshua said? This I haven't come to be served. I've come to serve. You know, this is great in the kingdom for those who serve. And that's just the rule, isn't it? That's just the rule of it. I mean, if we could grasp this, we would really start to achieve things. So let's be like that. Serving one another, preferring each other. And one of the greatest ways to do that is praying for each other. I mean, you know, pray for each other. So Moshe, the servant of Yehovah, died there in the land of Moab, according to the words of Yehovah. And he, this is Yehovah, buried him. Yah buried Moshe in a valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beit Peor. That's that horrible, but Peor, remember Baal Peor, that horrible false god that's seduced Israel. Well, this is his house, Beit Peor, and Moshe gets buried somewhere opposite that. No one knows his grave to this day. And most of you will know, if you read Jude, very, very strange, I don't know why, but in Jude verse 8, it says, doesn't it, that Satan was trying to have Moses' body off. And the archangel had to fight it, had to rebuke him to me, but he said, Yahovah rebuke you. Yahovah rebuke you, Satan. Because there was a fight going on for Moses' body. The sages say it's because they think that Satan would have caused his body to become idolised.
Yes.
You know, mummified maybe, turn it back into an Egyptian.
Yeah.
But we'll just stuck him in a pyramid and with all bandages around.
Also, might be the cell as well.
Correct.
On Mount of Olives.
Right, so whatever happened, this is a very special burial. That's why I want to spend a bit of time on it. Because Yah is burying this man. He's burying his sins. You know, there's a spiritual battle over it, Jude chapter 2, verse 8. Verse 7, Moshe was 120 years old when he died. 120, which is it's exactly what God said to Noah, wasn't it? The years of man will be 120. Yeah. And some people interpret that to mean 120 jubilees, 6,000 years, which fits right in with what we see as the creation narrative for days, 1,000 years. I'll just mention it now. Psalm 90 is the only psalm that I know of that's ascribed to Moses. Psalm 90, the Sabbath Psalm 90, and in there, where we get it from, a day, it's like 1,000 years with the Lord. So that's where we get this time thing from. So Moshe, I think very relevant, was 120 years old when he died. His eyes weren't dim, he didn't have to look to Specsavers like me. Nor his natural vigour diminished. What a fantastic tech, 120. And he's as strong as an ox or whatever. Verse 8, the children of Israel wept for Moshe in the plains of Moab for 30 days. And then if you go forward into Joshua, we see that it was after the time of mourning that the children of Israel entered across the Jericho. And we know when they crossed the river Jericho, the 10th day of the first month. So you can just backtrack a month and know that this is all around the 10th day of the last month. This is when this takes place. So they walked for 30 days, then they went on the journey. 30 days more. Verse 9, now Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom, because Moshe had laid his hands on him. Amen. So the children of Israel heeded him, Joshua, and did as Jehovah had commanded Moshe.
And he goes immediately to the verse in Genesis, because it's never ending. Yes. Just in case you forget, we'll go right on to
Okay.
Genesis 1.
Okay, well you can do that if you want. Let's just finish this bit. So verse 10, but since then, and this is so important, since then there has not arisen in Israel a prophet like Moshe, whom Jehovah knew face to face. And that puts us right back to a few weeks ago, Deuteronomy chapter 18, when Moshe said, all this Deuteronomy is only over the space of about a month, isn't it? We've seen that at the start. It's over the space of about 30 odd days. And Moshe said in these last days of his life, God is going to raise up a prophet like me. He is the one you've got to listen to. God's going to put his words in his mouth. He will only speak what God says. And anyone who doesn't obey him, you'll have God to do. You'll have no chance. And now we know Yeshua is this one. That's why Joshua is the son of Nun, is the predecessor. Because he's got the same name. Yahovah Hoshea. Yehoshua, Yah saves. That's who Yeshua is. And no one has risen in Israel until Yeshua. And he is the prophet like Moshe. And that's why Yeshua didn't contradict what Moshe said. Yeshua said, whatever he said, that's what you've got to do. I haven't come to do away with this. I've come to fulfill it. I've come to fulfill it through you. This is not something done away with. This is something he wants to fulfill through his people. So it says, there was no one like this that Yah knew face to face, and all the signs and wonders which Jehovah sent him to do in the land of Egypt before Pharaoh, before all his servants and all his land, and by all that mighty power and all that great terror which Moshe performed in the sight of Israel. Hallelujah! And now George says that now we go straight to Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And that's how we do it. We're not sure how we're going to work this out now. Next week is the Feast of Sukkot, and we will be here having our Sukkot meal. And then the following week, we're going to be starting the chronological Gospels, so we're hoping, still hoping, that we'll have somewhere available on Saturday afternoon where we can do the Torah reading together in whatever format. We'll see how it goes. But Friday night, in 2 weeks, we're on the chronological Gospels. Right, so let's maybe just before we finish that bit, I'll just read a little bit here. This is see if you know who this is. See if you know who said this. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now. Because I've been to the mountaintop. This is like Moses. And I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountaintop. And I've looked over it. And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you. But I want you to know tonight that we, as a people, will get to the promised land. Who said that? Martin Luther King, the night before he was assassinated. The night before Martin Luther King was assassinated, this is what he said. He obviously had some sort of divine inspiration, and he was having a Moses experience. This is the day Moses died, and the day before Martin Luther King was killed, that's what he said. I've been to the mountaintop. He was talking about racial segregation and the struggles going on in America, but he was seeing the spiritual message as well. I've seen, I'm not, he didn't know he was going to die the next day, or maybe he did, but he said, I might not get there with you, but we will get to the promised land. And I can say that to all of us here, we will get there. We will get to the promised land. Some of us may wait until he comes and be alive. Some of us may not, but we will all be gathered together to meet him in the air. Amen. And that is something we need to hold on to. Hallelujah. So that was just a little thank you to Moshe for what he's done. And hallelujah to the servants, for the servants of the Lord, the servants of God. Thank you, Father, for the words of Moshe, all the things that we've read about. For 4 years now, we've been doing the Torah portion, listening to the words, and you spoke through and to Moshe. But we know, Lord, that we have to hear this ourselves. We need to mix this with faith, Lord. So please open our ears and open our eyes that we may see the wonderful things in your Torah. Father, as we go forward as a group, Lord, please lead us, Lord. Please open the doors that you want to be open and shut the doors you want to be shut. Please give us everything we need to do the work, Lord, that you called us to do. Please cause us to be a fruitful, Lord, congregation, full of love, Lord, top of our list, a congregation full of love for you and for one another, full of compassion, Lord. Teach us your ways, Lord. Let us hear your voice, be transformed through the renewing of our minds. Amen. Amen. So let's just go now to finish off chapter 33. This is the final chapter now of our Torah for this year. It's been great, it's gone fast this year. Hallelujah. And just a bit of a diversion, next week is Tabernacles. Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. First time we've got to mention in the Word of God. It was called the Feast of Ingathering. Ingathering, that's what it was called first. It's a gathering time. A time for gathering. We were saying this last night, we're in the 7th biblical month now. And some people make great case to say that Yeshua will return at the Feast of Trumpets at Yom Teruah. Sounds good to me. I don't think so. I think he is going to return on Yom Kippur in the year of Jubilee. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. The reason I believe this is because it says in the Torah, on the 10th day of the 7th month, which is the Day of Atonement, in the 50th year, Shofar Teruah, it says. It doesn't say proclaim the Jubilee, it says Shofar Teruah, blow the Shofar. It's like a Feast of Trumpets, but on the Day of Atonement in the Jubilee year. So that's what I believe. Some people think it's going to be the Feast of Tabernacles, Yeshua returns. And we can make a case for all of that. But what I can definitely say is this 7th month is the time of his return. It's the 7th month. Trumpets, great. Fine, the sooner the better. Day of Atonement, okay. Tabernacles, it's all in this 7th month.
It's a good month to be ready.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, there's a real anointing on getting excited and really pressing in, as June was saying before. It's time to press in. And this month, it's a wide open door. It's just a wide open door to step into the kingdom and to really embrace the Messiah's come. The bridegroom is coming, and that needs to get our bride bells going on wherever we are. Hallelujah. So that was to the side. So to say this, we will be going the first day of Tabernacles according to the cited moon calendar. Will be Tuesday night, Wednesday day. And so we'll be going to Calderstones Park again on Wednesday. We've got fantastic postcards there, fantastic, they look like Christmas cards on the front, and it's about Emmanuel, and it's about his first coming, that he came to tabernacle with us, around the Feast of Tabernacles. And then the back side is more about, from Revelation, that he is going to come and tabernacle with us again. And he will be our God, and we will be his people, and there will be no more crying, no more sorrow, no more pain. God himself will wipe away all tears from our eyes. And that's what the message is on it. It's about his first coming and his second coming. Tabernacles. Time to be his. Time to be his. So that's that. So Wednesday, always contact June about that if you want to get out with us. We'll be there, Mike will be there, June will be there, Lynn's coming. Anyone else that wants to join us, get in touch with you, June. Wednesday.
Is that a good day for what amazing?
It's the first day.
Oh.
It's the first day, the Feast of Tabernacles.
After that, we can meet it
Oh,
all.
we can do it. We've got 8 days of doing it, but we want to be there on the first day. Yeah. Amen. And then the final day will be the 8th day, and that will also be the following Wednesday, so we'll probably make sure about that day as well. Let's see. But we're going on Wednesday, so if you can't come, please remember to pray for us. Last time on Feast of Trumpets, it was just divine, wasn't it? Divine appointments to the Jews and Gentiles. Wonderful. And the inspiration for it is Leviticus 23. These are my feasts, my appointed times, Yah says, and they are for you to proclaim at their appointed times. So it's so simple. When it's one of God's feasts, tell people, and he'll back it up. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Chapter 33 then, this is it. This is it. Chapter 33. Now this is the blessing with which Moshe, the man of God, it's the only time in the Torah you see that phrase about Moshe being the man of God. I mentioned in Psalm 90. In Psalm 90 it says, the song of Moshe, the man of God. But this is the only time in the Torah he's described as the man of God. It's more what you call prophets like Eliyahu, Elijah. The prophets are always called the man of God. Moshe's a prophet. So this is the blessing. This is the Torah portion, V'zot HaBaracha. This is the blessing which Moshe, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, Yehovah came from Sinai and dawned on them from Seir. He shone forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. What a scene this is. From his right hand came a fiery Torah. Chapter 33. Yeah. From his right hand, Yamin. We'll be looking at that word a bit more later when we get to Benjamin. Right hand Yamin. From his Yamin came a fiery Torah for them. What a phrase that is. A fiery Torah. And I was so delighted to read Matthew Henry's commentary notes, because I've always had Matthew Henry down as sort of not sure about it. It's done away, you know, one of them fellas that says it's all done away with, but I don't know if he is done anymore when I read what he had to say. Just bear with us while I find it. Worth waiting for. This is Matthew Henry, you know, an esteemed scholar. And this is what he said about this verse, about this fiery law. Just bear with us. Matthew Henry. The Holy Spirit came down in cloven tongues as of fire. For the gospel also is a fiery law. This is Matthew Henry. The gospel also is a fiery law. The law of God, written in the heart, is certain proof of the love of God shed abroad there. We must reckon his law one of the gifts of his grace. Matthew Henry said this. Where did the church go so wrong to think that the Torah was cursed and done away with? This is not what the scholars were teaching. Matthew Henry, the gospel is the fiery law. This is a gospel message. That's fiery law burning in our hearts. That's what this gospel should do to us. And I love this verse now. Yes, he loves the people. Verse 3. He loves the people. God so loved the world, he gave his only Son, and whoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. Yeshua loves the people. And it says, all the saints are in your hands. They sit down at your feet. They sit down at your feet. So there's probably haven't done an exhaustive look at it, but there's just 3 instances, let's say, from Luke, just because they're all in Luke, that I want to look at. I'll do my favourite one last. So it's just 3 occasions when we can see this being fulfilled in the Messiah. This is clear. This is talking about Yehovah, and it's saying that all the saints are in your hands, and they sit down at your feet. Well, let's see someone doing that. Luke chapter 10. Let's see the first one doing it. Luke 10 is someone sitting at Yeshua's feet. You know all these people. Luke 10, verse 38. This is around Hanukkah time. Now it happened as they went, that he entered a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Miriam, who also sat at Yeshua's feet and heard his word. That's what that says, isn't it? They all sit down at your feet. Everyone receives your words. That's what the Torah says, doesn't it? That his people sit at his feet and they hear his words. That's what Miriam's doing. She's sitting at Yeshua's feet and she hears his word. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and she approached him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Therefore tell her to help me. And Yeshua answered and said to her, Martha, Martha, you are worried and troubled about many things, but one thing is needed, and Miriam has chosen that good part, which will not be taken away from her. It won't be taken away from us when we spend time in his word at his feet. That will last forever. It will not be taken away from us. So there's one person, and don't get too down on Martha. I'll just mention this now. We see these two again in a couple of months. This is around Hanukkah, and just before Passover, we see these two again, don't we? And this time, the roles are totally reversed. Because it says, when Martha heard that the Lord was coming, she went out to meet him. And this time it's Miriam that stays home, crying, because Lazarus hadn't been raised from the dead yet. But Miriam, when she heard that the Lord was coming, she went out to meet him. So she obviously received these words from Yeshua and started to get a lot more attentive to what was important. So you see a lovely verse like those did. We'll get into that in the gospel. Let's go back to Luke 8. Luke 8 is another great one. Luke 8, another person at Yeshua's feet. Luke 8, Luke 7. Luke 7 verse. Luke 7. This is just, you can't, this is very deep, these lessons tonight. Even the people I listen to who are very knowledgeable say, this is very hard, this portion, and even the sages disagree. A lot of the phrases are only used here and nowhere else in the Tanakh. You can't compare some of these words where they're used elsewhere to understand them. So they are very sort of, mysterious words. So I just want to cover some basics here. And I want to really just cover this verse that the saints are sitting down at your feet. This is Yeshua, and they receive your words. This is a lovely story, in Luke 7, This is the start of verse 36. I think I'll read it. Verse 36. Then one of the Pharisees asked Yeshua to eat with him, and he went into the Pharisee's house and sat down to eat. And behold, a woman in the city who was a sinner, when she knew that Yeshua sat at the table in the Pharisee's house, she brought an alabaster flask of fragrance oil. There's a bit of, if anyone into the Song of Songs here, that's a very Song of Songs for verse that. Because in the Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 12, it says, while the king is at his table, my spikenard sends forth its fragrance. And that's what this is. The king, Yeshua, is sitting at the table, and this woman comes in and pours out her jar of perfume, and the fragrance fills the room. So there's a very Song of Songs thing going on here. That's probably why she does it. And at this time, she's standing at his feet. She stood at his feet, behind him, weeping, and she began to wash his feet with her tears, and wiped them with the hair of her head. And she kissed his feet, and anointed them with the fragrance oil. So unless she's a giraffe with a dead long neck, I presume she's now down at his feet, not standing up anymore, because now she's at his feet, kissing them, and washing them with her hair. Beautiful, isn't it? When the Pharisee who invited them saw this, he spoke to himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, he would know who and what manner of woman this is who is touching him, because she's a sinner. Yeshua answered and said to him, Simon, Simon, Shimon, one who is supposed to hear, I have something to say to you. So he said, teacher, say it. There was a certain creditor who had two debtors. One owed 500 denarii and the other 50. And when they had nothing with which to repay, he freely forgave them both. Tell me, therefore, which of them will love him more? Simon answered and said, I suppose the one who will forgive more. And he said to him, you have rightly judged. Then he turned to the woman and said to Shimon, do you see this woman? Do you see this woman, Shimon? I entered your house, but you gave me no water for my feet. She has washed my feet with her tears and wiped them with the hair of her head. You gave me no kiss, but this woman has not ceased to kiss my feet since the time I came in. You didn't anoint my head with oil, but this woman has anointed my feet with fragrance oil. Therefore I say to you, her sins, which are many, are forgiven. For she loved much, but to whom little is forgiven, the same loves little. Then he said to me, your sins are forgiven. I mean, get to see a Pharisee's in a Pharisee's house, and he is pronouncing the forgiveness of sin. And those who sat at the table with him began to say to themselves, who is this who even forgives sins? Then he said to the woman, your faith has saved you. Go in shalom. And that's because who is this that can forgive sins? This is the one that the Torah speaks of, that they will sit at your feet and they will receive your words. It's him in the flesh. This is my favourite one. Chapter 8, verse 26. This is my favourite fella who sits at the feet. Chapter 8, verse 26 of Luke. I've got to just fill you in on the details of this, although it will take all week to do it. Because this is at the end of an amazing day in the Messiah's ministry. When we do the chronological Gospels, we put all this together, and without a shadow of a doubt, all of this takes place on one day. You'll see it, it's amazing. All the parables that you know so well come forth on this day. This was the day that the Pharisees demanded a sign, and Yeshua said, I'm going to give you one sign. One sign you're going to get. The sign of Jonah. Well, on this day, Yeshua gets into a boat, and he goes to the back of the boat and puts his head down on a pillow and falls asleep, just like Jonah did. This is Yom Kippur today, and the reading is Jonah. And when you read the book of Jonah, That's what it says. Jonah got into a boat and he went down and fell asleep. This is exactly what Yeshua did at the end of this very busy day. He got into a boat, he put his head on the pillow and fell asleep. And then just like Jonah, a storm arose. And just like Jonah, they woke him up. And Yeshua got up and rebuked the wind. He didn't throw him overboard. He just rebuked the storm. Well, this is at the end of this day. What a day it is. A day in the life of Yeshua. And then we get to the end of this day when he crosses over the Nazareth, the Galilee. And then verse 26, then they sailed to the country of the Gadarenes, which is opposite Galilee. When he stepped out on the land, there met him a certain man from a city who had demons for a long time, and he wore no clothes. It tells you in Matthew or Mark that there was two fellas who were wearing no clothes, so you know what was going on. Nor did he live in a house, but in the tombs. When he saw Yeshua, he cried out, fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, "What have I to do with you, Yeshua, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me." For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for it had often seized him, and he was kept under guard, bound with chains and shackles, and he broke the bonds and was driven by the demon into the wilderness. This is a serious case of demon possession, isn't it? He's chained and he's breaking chains, and no one can stop him. He's off it. Demon possessed. Verse 30, Yeshua asked him, saying, "What's your name?" And he said, "Legion," because many demons had entered him. And they begged him that he would not command them to go out into the abyss. The demons know. They said it earlier on, the first time Yeshua dealt with a demon spirit. And he said, "Oh, you haven't come to torment us before the time, have you?" They know there's a time. And these demons are saying, "Oh, you haven't come to send us into the abyss, have you?" They know there's a place. They know there's a time and a place. And they are aware. They are. That's why it says in these last days, Satan is cast down to the earth with great fury, because he knows it's only got a short time. His time's coming up. They begged him that he would not command them to go into the abyss. Verse 32, now a herd of many swine was feeding there on the mountain. So they begged him that he would permit them to enter them. And he permitted them. Then the demons went out of the man and entered the swine. And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake and drowned. This is a very powerful story, isn't it? When those who fed them saw what had happened, they fled and told it in the city and the country. Then they went out to see what had happened and came to Yeshua and, look, found the man, I love this, from whom the demons had departed. What's he doing? Sitting at the feet of Yeshua, clothed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. They also, who had seen it, told them by what means he had been demon-possessed was healed. Then the whole multitude of the surrounding region of the Gadarenes asked him to depart from them, for they were seized with great fear. And he got into a boat and returned. Now the man from whom the demons had departed begged Yeshua that he might be with him. But Yeshua sent him away, saying, "Oh, you need to go to LL Grange up in the lakes for 6 months. You need to go and get counselling for a year." No, Yeshua didn't say that at all. Yeshua didn't say you needed to go and get counselling. He said, "Lad, you're sound now. You might have had 2,000 demons in you before, but right now you're laughing and you can stay right where you are. Return to your own house and tell what great things God has done for you." And he went his way and proclaimed throughout that mean, "Get on this fella." He was terrified. He was caught himself. He was ripping chains. He was naked. No one could hold him. The next thing, he's walking through the streets proclaiming what Yeshua has done for him. In his right mind, fully clothed. Hallelujah. This is what Yeshua's come to do. To set captives free. To release those who are in chains. To release people who are oppressed. This is what he came to do. And this is the Yom Kippur message. This is not the fast. Is this not the fast I've chosen? Isaiah 58. Is it not to let the captives go free? To loose the oppressed? To set those, free? That's what this is all about. Yom Kippur is about freedom. And that's why I believe myself, Yeshua's coming back at Yom Kippur in the year of Jubilee. Because that message is about what we read at the end of the Song of Moses. He will atone for his land. And he will atone for his people. In the year of Jubilee, on the 10th day of the 7th month, the captives go free. The land is restored to its rightful owner. It's all about freedom. It's all about liberty. Yeah, it's about liberty. This is what Yeshua came to bring. He said at Tabernacles, those who know, abide in me, that my words abide in you, you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And that was actually a hand that he said that. But hallelujah anyway. So let's back to the Torah. I didn't want to spend that much time on it, but I didn't want to skip through that. There's three great examples of people that we are told were sitting at Yeshua's feet. And I just think that is what that Torah is about, that they will sit at his feet. So what a place, Lord. And I do pray that we will all spend so much more time at your feet, Lord, in various ways. Knowing that you've forgiven our sins. Those who are forgiven much, love much. Thank you, Lord, that you've forgiven us of sins. Thank you for that. And you have got the power to say, your sins are forgiven. Go in peace. And so I pray that there'll be a real freedom for us to know that we are forgiven. He has forgiven us. All because of what he has done. And because of the Yom Kippur message. And Yom Kippur, only the high priest entered. He doesn't need us there. He's doing the business. And he's done it for us, once for all. Amen. Let's carry on. Verse 4, back in chapter 33, verse 4. Moshe commanded a law for us. That's not Torah, that's that. Like decree, used in Esther many times, for when a king gives decrees. Moshe commanded decrees for us. This is a lovely word. A heritage. Morasha, heritage. And we have mentioned this loads. It's coming from that word yarash, which is inheritance. What the land was promised as an inheritance. But you can see here that the Torah is the inheritance of the assembly of Yaakov. The Torah is our inheritance. So that might help when we read Ephesians chapter 1 and we read Colossians chapter 1. And in them passages we're reading that we have now become partakers of the inheritance of the saints. And what does that mean? This is what it means. It means that we too have inherited this heritage of God's Torah. That we are grafted into the olive tree. We are part of the commonwealth of Israel. And that's what Paul's teaching Gentiles, saying, you who were once far off, you've now been brought near through the blood of the Messiah. And now there is one new man, and now you share in this inheritance. This is the language Paul's using. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 11 for your notes. Colossians chapter 1 verse 12. This is where you will see that language, inheritance. Later on in the book in Ephesians 1, Paul says quite clearly, he prays, I pray that the eyes of your understanding will be enlightened, that you may come to understand what is your inheritance in the saints. This is Paul trying to get us to understand that this is all for us. That all of this Torah and these feasts and everything, this is your inheritance. Don't let anyone steal your inheritance. It's an heritage. Oh, there's our mate from last week. And he was king in Yeshurun. Remember that from last week? We met Yeshurun last week. Does anyone remember what it meant? Yeshurun. Where's it come from? Yasha. What's Yasha mean? Upright one. Come on, you must remember this. I brought me confusing over this last week. When I got all carried away. Yasha. Yasha means upright, because I went into the woman who was healed on the Sabbath and was bent over for 18 years, and Yeshua said, Oh, not this woman that Satan has bound. Think about it, for 18 years. Oh, not she be loosed on the Sabbath.
That's right.
And she went upright.
That's right.
She had been bent over for 18 years. And on the Sabbath day, Yeshua proclaimed her free. Be loosed. And she stood upright. And that is the message behind Yeshurun. Yeshurun. Yasha comes from upright. And so Yeshurun in the scriptures is always talking about Israel in its perfect state. Israel walking uprightly the way Israel should walk uprightly. And only God can do this. And if we're bowed over because of the traditions of men, that's what Yeshua said, you Pharisees and scribes, you make weights that you can't even carry yourselves, you even if the fingers carry yourselves, but you put them on people's backs, and we're all bent over because of these man-made rules that no one can live by.
Like Jeff saw before, about the weight on his back.
Wow, what a session that was, Jeff. Yeah. Amen. No, he moves these yokes and these bondages, doesn't he? So, Yeshua upright. So, he was king. Yah is king in Yeshua. When the leaders of the people were gathered, all the tribes of Israel, Yachad, it says together. Yachad. This has got that Echad sound to it. The same group of words. Yachad, together. One. Well, yeah, what Echad is one, Yachad is together. Wow. Yeah, and it's some famous scriptures. I think it's well, I just remember a few of the scriptures. Famous one, come on. We're in that time of going up to Jerusalem with the songs of ascent now. Psalm 133, we know this one. You said that, Barry. Behold how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, unity together. Well, it's the same thing, but I just want to develop it a bit, you see. What we see out of this word, Yachad, together. Yachad. How wonderful it is for brothers to dwell. Yachad. It's the language that was used when we were looking at the construction of the tabernacle, and it was saying each board must be compact together. And it was that phrase, Yachad, the boards of the tabernacle had to be fitted together. And then, I think it's Psalm 122, is it? But in other songs of ascent, 122 or 123, when it's saying about Jerusalem, Jerusalem is a city built together. And it's speaking of people together. We've got to be together. We have got to be together. Yeah, built together, linked together, each one helping each other. This is how it works. Well, that's what that's saying. When the body is together as one, he's king. That's when he'll manifest in all his authority and power. When the body is unified, we need to strive for the unity. We need to lay our lives down. This is what it says. We need to do our job here. So, that's another lovely verse together. And then just another derivative of that, just for the sake of mentioning it, is the word Yachid. That was Yachad. Yachid. The first time you see Yachid is my favourite passage in the Torah, Genesis 22, when God says to Abraham, take now your son, your Yachid son, your only son, Isaac. And that is then obviously a clear allusion to how God can say, this is my begotten son, my son Yachid, about Yeshua. Same language, Yachid, which means one of a kind, irreplaceable, priceless Yachid. There's only one of its kind. Well, he became the firstborn of many brethren, didn't he? That's the good news, that now we are all one in him. So here's the blessings now. The blessings starts, and I don't know how far we'll get. We'll finish on time, so let's see how far we go. That's why I'm glad we finished the Moses bit, chapter 34. I think to finish this without giving Moses a good send-off, so. Amen. Yeah, amen. So let's see, and I'll skip through a lot of this. And I remember from last year what stood out to me, and I said at the start, we'll probably end up going a little bit Melchizedek tonight. And this is why. Let's start off, verse 6. This is the first blessing. Let Reuben live and not die, nor let his men be few. That's that, short and sweet. And that's Reuben. Now Reuben was the firstborn, wasn't he? But we saw Reuben lost the firstborn status. But now Moshe is putting him first on the list again. And that just speaks to me of the what Romans says, that the gifts and the callings of God without repentance, they're without repentance. And that shows me that Reuben, even though he's not got the firstborn status anymore, he's still acknowledged first. That's how I look at that. The sages say the reason for this blessing, let Reuben live and not die, and let his men not be few, is because Reuben was with Gad, hadn't he? And half-tribe Manasseh were the ones who wanted to stay on this side of the Jordan and didn't want to cross over. And so the deal was, well, if you let us have this land, we'll go to war first. We'll be at the front. So the sages say, because Moses knew this, that he's given a blessing of protection over them. Because he knows these are going to be on the front line here. He's sworn that they're going to be on the front line. So let them live and not die. And Reuben's, he's not all bad, Reuben. There's been some great things in Reuben's life. He was there when they were selling Joseph off, wasn't he? And he was saving. Yeah. Reuben's all right as well. He's had his bad days. He was there at the rebellion of Korah, if you remember. It was the Reubenites that were involved with that rebellion, and he paid the price for that. But this is about redemption. Yeah. Reuben's back. He's not forgotten. He's back there. He is top of the list. Great. Reuben, what does Reuben mean? Anyone remember? See a son. Reuben. See a son. So that's what I wanted to take away from this first part. See a son. I think you'll know what we're talking about here. See a son. Then he said this of Judah, Yehudah is spelled Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh with a dalet in it. It's the name of Yehovah with a dalet. Dalet means door. So this is the door to Yehovah, and that's what Yeshua said, isn't he? I am the door. Yeah. And he came from the tribe of Yehudah, Judah.
And salvation is of the Jews.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Now, we could spend a long time on this, but we haven't got time. So let's just pick out what this is about. Judah, Yehudah. We've already said it, I think. But this is the kingly tribe, isn't it? The line of the kings, King David. And the throne will always be with King David, won't it? It's always going to come back to the house of Judah. Because Yeshua is the line of the tribe of Judah. And it says, hear Yehovah, the voice of Yehudah, and bring him to his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and may you be a help against his enemies. I love the start of that. Hear Yehovah, the voice of Yehudah, of Judah. I love it so much because it takes me, without going there, to Psalm 116. Psalm 116 is that fantastic Passover psalm, isn't it? It's one of the psalms that I read at Passover. We've read it loads here. It's very Gethsemane when Yeshua is agonizing. And the same in Psalm 116. And then he says, I will take up the cup of salvation. It's like when Yeshua doesn't want to take up the cup. Anyway, that this cup can pass from me, Lord. Nevertheless, not my will, your will. And so he agrees to take up the cup. And as you see it in Psalm 116, I will take up the cup of salvation. But that psalm starts off with, I love the Lord. I love Yehovah because he heard me. Yeah, I love Yehovah because he heard me. He gave ear to my voice. And that's what Moses is asking. Hear Yehudah's voice, Lord. You're going to want to hear his voice. He's the Saviour. He's the one who's going to be crying out, forgive them, Lord, because they don't know what we do. He's the one who's going to be crying out his priestly proclamation of, "It is finished. I have paid the price. Hear his voice, Lord." That's what that's about. So much we could say, but I want to just extract the main thing. So far, we've got Seir's son, Reuben, and now we've got the kingly tribe. So Seir's son, who is a king. Now let's go to the next one, chapter verse 8. Levi, of Levi, Levi, he said. So what's Levi? He is the priest, isn't he? You can start to gauge this now, can't you? A son who is a king and also a priest. This is the priestly tribe. Let your Thummim and your Urim be with your Holy One, whom you tested at Massa, and with whom you contended at the waters of Meribah, who says of his father and mother, "I have not seen them," nor did he acknowledge his brothers, or know his own children. And what the sages appoint us to here is to Exodus 32, after the sin of the golden calf, when Moshe came down the mountain and he said, "Whoever is with Jehovah, let him come to me." And the Levites assembled to Moshe, and it says that they went throughout the camp, and he didn't spare, did he? He went and slayed their own families, whoever it was that had gone to participate in the sin of the golden calf. It says 3,000 were killed on that day. That's what it says. 3,000 died when the covenant was broke. When the covenant was broke, 3,000 died. When the Holy Spirit was poured out at Pentecost, 3,000 got saved. When the covenant was renewed, when the Torah was poured, when the Spirit was poured out to write the Torah on our hearts, 3,000 were saved. 3,000 died when the Torah got broke. And that's what this is saying, that he didn't acknowledge his brothers or know his own children. It's the type of language Yeshua is using in Luke 14 when he's saying, look, it's not you've got to hate your mother and father and things like that, but you've got to, your first priority's got to be here, it's got to be God, it's got to be Yeshua, it's got to be first priority, it's got to take precedence over your friends, your family. You know, we see that in the Torah, even if your friends, even if you're a member of your own household tries to entice you away to serve foreign gods, you've got to be the first to blow one. You've got to be the first one to throw the stones. That's what it says. Don't tolerate it. And that's what it's saying of Levi here. He didn't spare his nearest and dearest. He went and done what Moses commanded. He took the sword. Yeah, the finish was only doing what God had told him to do. You know, not that this is, you understand what I mean, but this is Moshe's own tribe, isn't it? For the verse carrying on, for they observed your word and kept your covenant. Verse 10, they shall teach Yaakov your judgments and Israel your Torah. They shall put incense before you and a whole burnt sacrifice on your altar. Bless his substance, Jehovah, and accept the work of his hands. Strike the loins of those who rise against him, and of those who hate him, that they may not rise again. This is the priesthood we're talking about. So, Reuben, Judah, Levi. And there's someone missing out of that. Who's missing? Simeon? Yeah, Simeon's missing. The first 4 sons of Jacob to Leah are here, but Simeon's missing. And what Simeon mean? You said it before. Hearing. Is this something that we can see that's happening to Israel? Well, we can definitely know that for certain, because Hebrews tells us this, that they did not hear his voice. So the fact that Simon and Simeon have been taken away, is this showing us that Israel has become a bit deaf and a bit rebellious because of that?
And Simeon was put in prison as well, at the time of Joseph.
That's right. And you know what? I love this. There's a sort of reading you can do called Your Living Waters. Great study. Really great weekly study right through Your Living Waters. And they brought this out. They said, we can see in the Gospels, I think it's John, but when it is John, when it's talking about Judas Iscariot, it tells us what his dad's name is, and his dad's name is Simeon. So they're saying you can deduce from that Judas Iscariot was likely from the tribe of Simeon. And just the way Yeshua is a prophet, just like Moses, well, Simeon's missing when Moshe is about to die. And his last supper, if you like, his last gathering with his people. Simeon's missing. And at the Last Supper, Yeshua told Judas, didn't he? Go and do what you've got to do. Go and do what you've got to do. And he was missing from that last assembly. Very similar to this blessing that Moshe is given. And Simeon's missing. Shimon's missing. Well, so was Judas Iscariot at the Last Supper. I thought that was a nice parallel. You know, the way Yeshua is a prophet like Moshe. But the good news is, as I said before, the gifts and callings of God are without repentance. And Simeon was decimated, wasn't he? Remember when we done the numbers? We've seen how big Simeon's tribe used to be. But then it was Simeon, the leader of Simeon was Zimri, wasn't it? Was it Zimri? And he was the one who lay with Cosby, yeah, remember at that rebellion? And then we've seen that 24,000 died. And it seems that was, in a majority, the Simeonites, because their leader was the one who took a Midianite woman and laid with her in the front of the tabernacle of God. Remember? And this is that Phineas thing. Well, Simeon's numbers were decimated after that. Decimated, the plague broke out. And so the sages deduce that it was Simeon's tribe that got almost wiped out. But, good news, when you read Revelation chapter 7, and there's 12,000 of each of the 12 tribes, Simeon's back. The gifts and callings of God without repentance. Simeon's back at the end of time. God knows who they are. You know, you've got loads of people saying, I'm from the tribe of Levites, well, they're blood test, I'm a Levite. Oh, I'm from the tribe of Judah. No one ever owns up to me from the tribe of Simeon. I'm from the tribe of Simeon. You know, but Simeon comes back into the picture later on. Finally, not finally, but nearly finally.
Also, the Simon at his circumcision with Anna.
Ah, yeah. Well, they say that the Simeonites merged with Judah and pretty much got took over by Judah, took under their wing. But we know that there's going to be 12,000 of them in the book of Revelation sealed as part of the 144,000. So this is maybe finally, maybe not. Verse 12. This sort of brings it together now. What have we got so far? We've got a son, Reuben, Seir's son. We've got the kingly tribe of Judah. And we've got the priestly tribe of Levi. And now, totally hard of sing, Benjamin. It's Benjamin's over here. Yeah, but I mean, he was the last one. He was, like you were saying before, Vera, he was the only one, Benjamin, born in the land of Israel. You said that before, didn't you? Yeah, the only one born in the land of Israel. All the rest were born in Laban's territory, maybe, in Jordan or Syria, whatever that was. Yeah, and Benjamin was the only one born in Israel. And I only realised this week, come across this week, that the Temple Mount is in Benjamin's territory. Judah and Benjamin are next to each other, but the Temple Mount was built right on the border in Benjamin's territory, and apparently it was a move that David did because Saul was the first king and he was a Benjamite. So it was like sort of to keep the Benjamites happy, he built the temple in Benjamin. This is what I'm led to believe. And you see that in what it says. It's Benjamin, it says, the beloved of Yehovah shall dwell in safety by him, who shelters him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders. And apparently the topography of the land there is the Temple Mount's got two shoulders by it, two hills that you can see. I haven't noticed it, but this is what I'm led to believe, that this is a geographical depiction of the Temple Mount in the land of Benjamin, in the time of Benjamin. There's a lovely thing here, the beloved of Yehovah, it says. This is in the Leningrad Codex. It's one of the few times that the scribes have slipped up and put all the vowel points. It's one of the times in the Leningrad Codex, the oldest of the Hebrew scriptures, the Leningrad. And there's two times here in this verse and in the next verse, where they left the 4 vowel posts in. And anyone that wants to access the Leningrad Codex, you could see it, and you'll see the vowel posts to pronounce the name of the Creator, Yehovah, Jehovah. So the beloved of Jehovah shall dwell in safety by him. So, why I was saying this now, Benjamin, we've already mentioned it, you've just said it, son of my right hand. Son of my right hand. So now we've got son, king, priest, and now we see that this son is the son of my right hand. And that's why we need to read Psalm 110. We mention this loads, but we never actually read it. We never actually, we talk about this loads, but it's time to look at it now tonight again. Psalm 110, the famous Melchizedek passage. What time is it? Yeah, we're going to finish you. I'll just summarise that quick then. I'll leave that space. Psalm 110. Psalm 110. There's 2 times in the Tanakh that Melchizedek's mentioned. Genesis 14, when he comes out with bread and wine to Abraham. And here, still, only 2 scriptures you've got to go on in the Tanakh. Thank God for the book of Hebrews. Hebrews spends a lot of detail explaining, and we have spent loads of times over the last few years talking about the difference between the Levitical priesthood and the Melchizedek priesthood. And the Hebrews is very, very, very clear that the Levitical priesthood is obsolete and a thing of the past. Now it's a new priesthood, a much better priesthood, a much better covenant, an eternal priesthood, and it's all about Yeshua. It says, Lord, the Lord Jehovah said to Adonai, sit, this is the point, sit where? Yamin, my right hand. Sit at my right hand, Benjamin, son of my right hand. Sit at my right hand, till I make your enemies your footstool. That's what Yeshua was doing. Until his enemies are made his footstool, sit at his right hand. Yahovah shall send the God of your strength out of where? Zion. Rule in the midst of your enemies. Your people shall be volunteers in the day of your power. And I want to see that, Lord, we start to volunteer our lives, volunteer our time, everything in the day of his power. Because the day of his power should draw our arrows. We want to volunteer. We don't want to be press ganging people. We want volunteers. In the beauties of holiness, from the womb of the morning, you have the dew of your youth. Here it is, verse 4. Yahovah. This is not anyone. This is not someone who could lie. This is Jehovah. Yahovah has sworn, and he will not relent. You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek, which means the king of righteousness, doesn't it? So this is so important. This is all about Melchizedek priesthood. A king who is a priest. This is unheard of in the older covenant. This is unheard of in the Levitical law. You couldn't be a priest and a king. How could you be a priest and a king? Kings come from Judah. Priests come from Aaron. How can this be? Because this is what was always pointing to, wasn't it? That this priesthood is different. This is the Melchizedek priesthood. Yeshua is a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. That's why Melchizedek brought out bread. And why? All speaking of Yeshua. That's why Yeshua said, Abraham saw my day, and he was glad. He rejoiced to see my day. It says in Galatians 3, the gospel was preached to Abraham. The Melchizedek is where we need to be at. What's it mean? What? And a lot of people just get into the simple, what I love about it, it's what it said. Sit at my right hand. This is the place of Shabbat. This is what it's all about. Shabbat is to teach us how to rest, isn't it? It's to teach us you don't earn this. You can't buy and sell this. You can't work for this. It's a free gift. All you can do is accept it. All you can do is receive with thankful hearts and with gladness. But all you can do is receive it by faith. And that this priesthood is a priesthood of being seated. Seated
Yes.
in where? Heavenly places. Heavenly places. This is all about we have died to self. It's no longer I that live, it's the Messiah that lives in me. And if you've died and you've been raised, then therefore set your mind on things above, where the Messiah is seated at the right hand of God. That's Colossians chapter 3. So important. So that's that. And we'll just finish with this now. Finish with this. Well, we'll finish with this and then just do the last couple of verses. The last thing, just to summarise, is verse 13, Joseph. And I'm not going to even read it. I'm just going to mention Joseph. And the last part of this lesson is verse 17. His glory is like a firstborn. That's interesting. And his horns are the horns of a wild ox. Together with them he shall push the peoples to the ends of the earth. Who are they? They are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And this is Joseph. And that's why this is important, to make us understand how this all fits in now. Because Ephraim and Manasseh, they were Jacob's grandsons, weren't they? But Jacob said, no, they are now my sons. And he adopted them. And that's how this whole thing works, that he has adopted us. So this whole priesthood, this whole covenant is based on adoption, that we are being adopted as sons. And that Joseph is the message of adoption to his sons.
And that reminds me of David and Saul, David the son of slaves 10,000 and Saul was 1,000.
Yeah, that's right, that's good. That's a good point, that, yeah. Think about that. So look, we're 10 o'clock in a minute now, so we're going to just finish off with these last words. Got a few more tribes to read. I love Asher's one. Asher, verse 24, of Asher, Asher is most blessed. Asher means happy and favoured. And let him be favoured by his brothers. Let him dip his foot in oil, just like Yeshua. Your sandals shall be iron and bronze in your days. As your days, so shall your strength be. But let's just read these last few verses now. Last few verses. We've already done chapter 34. Verse 26. Here's our mate again. There is no one. There is no one like the God of Yeshurun, the upright ones, who rides the heavens to help you, and in his excellence and in his excellency on the clouds. The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. He will thrust out the enemy from before you, and will say, destroy. Then Israel shall dwell in safety. The fountain of Yaakov alone, in a land of grain and new wine. His heavens shall also drop dew. Happy, happy, Esher are you, O Israel. Who is like you, a people saved by Jehovah? Amen. Come on. Hallelujah. You know, happy are you, Israel. You know, if you're really Israel, you'll be happy. If you're not happy, you're not really Israel. Who is like you, a people saved by Jehovah? The shield of your help and the sword of your majesty. Your enemies. This is a curious verse. They all differ over this. But it is actually, your enemies shall deny you. They'll deny you even exist. They'll deny you are even a people. Well, that's familiar, isn't it? You've heard the way they carry on with themselves, don't you? These nutcases denying Israel's right to exist. Well, that's exactly what that scripture's saying. Your enemies will deny you, not submit to you. And you shall tread down their high places. And I'm going to just finish with one verse from Psalm 68, which confirms all that and tells us who this is. Yeah, really, what did it say? There's no one like that, the God of Yeshua. He rides the heavens to help you, and his excellency in the clouds. Well, we know how Yeshua's going to come back, don't we? He is coming back in the clouds. You were all singing it before. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, at the shofar sound. Psalm 68. Let God arise, Let his enemies be scattered. Let those who hate him flee from before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melts before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of God. But let the righteous be glad. Yeah, let them rejoice before God. Let them rejoice exceedingly. Sing to God. Sing praises to his name. Extol him who rides on the clouds. By his name, Yah. And rejoice before him. Father, we thank you for Yeshua. We thank you that he's coming on the clouds, Lord. We thank you that he is coming soon. Zechariah 12 says that they will see him who they pierced, and they will mourn for him as one mourns for an only Yachid son. Just like Isaac was the Yachid. Thank you that Yeshua is the Yachid, and thank you that they are going to mourn when they see him, Lord, coming on the clouds. We thank you that he's coming on the clouds. Come soon, Lord. Help us in these days to do exactly what you said, Yeshua. You said when you return, will you find faith on the earth? Well, seeing that we think you're coming in the 7th month, will you find people keeping your feasts? Will you find people doing what you've said to do on your feast times? I pray that you will help us to be those, Lord, and you will help us to communicate this and bring many others to these feasts, Lord. When you come, I pray you will find faith on the earth, Lord. And I pray that you will really strengthen us in these days and help us, Lord, to be happy, because it says that we should be happy because you've saved us. I pray, Lord, that we'll be people of rejoicing, because that's who you called us to be. And the joy of that of Yah is our strength. So with these final words, thank you for Moses, Lord. Thank you that you gave Moses these words to give to Aaron, to bless the children of Israel, and in so doing put your name, Yehovah, upon your people. Yivarechecha, Yehovah, vayishmerecha. Ya'eh, Yehovah, panav lecha, ve'chunecha. Yisa Yehovah, panav lecha, ve'yisem lecha shalom, b'shem Yeshua HaMashiach shalom. Yehovah bless you and keep you. Yehovah make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yehovah lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom. In the name of Yeshua the Messiah, the Prince of Shalom. Amen. Amen.